What's up, YouTube? I am Eric, and this is my little YouTube channel, I Am Erica. And just wanted to put together a little video. Hopefully it's a little less cringe and a whole lot more learning than the last one. I'm still pretty new to this process, so I hope you'll bear with me. This is about something that I've been taking part in more so recently in the past couple of years, and it has to do with the legislative process of making law and my role in that. And one of those things is just researching the various bills. And so I put together a short little video here about some things that I felt handy in navigating the Washington State Legislature's website. If you're in another state, this may or may not be valuable. Maybe it will be. I hope it is, but it may or may not have the same sort of things going on. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the presentation, and yeah, check it out. All right, so what I want to do tonight is sort of give you a rundown of one of my favorite ways to navigate the Washington State Legislature bills currently finding their way through the Washington State Legislature. So what you're going to want to do first is go to a browser, your browser, whatever you want, and maybe hit a Google search for Washington State Legislature. And that should get you a link that takes you right to this homepage. Or you can type in the web address leg.wa.gov, and that should take you to this website here. Now, this website has got a lot of information on it about sort of what's going on with committees on a day or the scheduling, and some other menu options over here on the right, which are all very handy. And on the left, probably some other same menu options. The one today that I wanted to talk about is behind this Bill Information tab. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. And this is the Bill Information web page. And what's going on here is if you've heard of a bill on Twitter or YouTube, something like that, and you know the number, you can type that number in here, okay, and then you can do a direct search for it. And when you do that, I went ahead and typed in one of the bills that I'm aware of. It'll bring you right to the bills page. And what's on this page, a lot of information, a lot going on here, a lot of handy stuff that once you sort of get involved, it's very useful to navigate and use to get in touch with your legislature or just understand what's going on with the process. There's a link here, it says to comment on the bill or to get email notifications or RSS notifications. You've got sort of this infographical thing, I guess, that tells you kind of where it's at in the process, where the bill is at. It's also got some information about public hearing, particularly important if you want to testify or you want to know what the result of this public hearing is. And it's also got a link to the original bill text. I think it takes you to a PDF that you can then download and have that for your records. A very good page to understand and navigate. I'm going to go back one page here, back to the bill information page. But the thing that I kind of found that was very handy once I understood this was here is this over here on the right, which can actually give a different set of information based on what it is your interests are in the legislature. So let's go ahead and click on that. What it'll do is it brings about a legislative search engine, essentially, where you can type in a keyword, say something you're interested in, and then it'll allow, and that keyword will be searched through all the bills or memorials, resolutions, amendments, blah, 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 currently or in the past, depending on how you set things up, of what's in the legislature. So one of the terms that you might want to search, it's really up to you. Could be parental rights, could be money, could be education reform, it could be any number of things, civil rights. The one thing that I'm particularly interested in is firearms, and we'll type that in here. Okay, and I've typed in my search term, and then I go down to the bills and other biennium documents, and it gives you the option to choose the House specifically if you just want to know what bills are in the House, the Senate specifically if you want to just limit your search to the Senate, or both. I'm going to go ahead with both just because that's the broadest view that I can get, and I'm going to hit all bills, memorials, and resolutions, which should give me pretty much everything that I could want as far as what's on the desks of our legislature in the 2023-2024 session. Okay, once I've done that, I can then search, and over here on the right, it pops up with a list of the bills that contain the keyword that I've entered over here. Now, if I look over here, it'll give you a little bit of information. The first thing it gives you is this bill number, for instance, 5211, and the legislative session. Okay, so I believe that if it starts with a 5, it's a Senate bill, and if it starts with a 1, it's a House bill. So we can say, with that in mind, this is Senate Bill 5211, an act relating to enhancing requirements for the purchase or transfer of firearms by requiring a permit to purchase firearms. Okay, so, and then it gives you a link to that. Also, the next one, it's got a link. So I really like that you can just sort of jump from bill to bill to bill as you want to go. So I can click on that. It gives me this bill. I can open, sorry about that. Let me go back. So used to using that back button. All bills and amendments, go search. Okay, brings us back here. So it gives us this, so I can go to this link and go back to the list, and then I can go to this bill and then back to the list. And so I can really just bounce around and figure out what's important to me. And then I can take notes and I can say, okay, well, I'm interested in this bill, okay, this bill, you know, all of those things. And it'll give you an idea of where you may want to look depending on what your interests are. All right, and I think that's really cool because instead of like trying to just freestyle browse through a list of pre-filed documents, this really gives you a way to just get right in there and say, okay, I'm interested in firearms, and these are the bills that have firearms in them. All right, so we can open up one of these bills, and it gives us all the information of the bill, the text of the bill. It gives us the authors, it would appear, and who requested the bill. Surprise, it's Governor Inslee. And then it goes down to show you kind of the nuts and bolts of the bill itself. And my understanding in reading this, and I'm not a civics professor or a lawyer or anything like that, but basically it'll show you what RCW it pertains to. In this case, it pertains to RCW 9.41.090, and it'll then show you what text is going to be removed and what text is going to be added, and what text might be changed or modified or moved around. So, and the other reason I like this method of looking at it is it gives me a link right to the RCW that it pertains to. Okay, and I really like that. So I know that this RCW 941.090, okay, it brings me right back here. I can go and look at what the actual law is already. Okay, so if I need to formulate my arguments, I already know that those are already laws. The argument doesn't necessarily need to deal with those. It needs to deal with what they want to add into these laws or how they want to change them. So it allows you to sort of refine any positions you want to take or opinions you want to share with the legislature it allows you to do it better, I think, if you can really narrow things down and stick to a topic and deliver the information, you know, in a better way. So I think it's important to understand too that how this is written and that what you're looking at, because I know for me when I first started, and I'm not a civics guy, like I said, I'm no lawyer, I'm just one person trying to learn this process. You know, I couldn't tell what this struck through part was and what this underlined part was and stuff like that. So knowing that this is what's going to be removed and this is what's going to be added is important. So that when you go to read the bill, you know it is what you're looking at. All right, and it can be a little intimidating to wade through, but if you just start doing it one step at a time, you can do a lot, and you can make good arguments that people will listen to. Remember, these legislature people are just people after all. They're not anything special. They have no, you know, special authority over you. They may have studied something differently, but they're just people. You know, and it's important to understand that we can read these things, we can learn, and we can come up with arguments on our own that are better than the ones that they have. And just the fact that they're sitting at that desk or behind that gavel, whatever it is that it is, doesn't give them any authority over us. So anyway, I thought that was a real handy method to go through bills. And then you can sort of take notes about what that, and then let's say we find a bill that we really are interested in, okay? Let's say 5193, we can then go back, all right, to this, and we type in 5193, okay? And that gets us to bill 51993's page. And on that page, it'll give us, again, that rundown of where it's at and what's going on. We can comment on this bill. We can click directly that, and it'll give you the information you need to contact your legislature on this bill, whether or not you want to support, oppose, or have a neutral viewpoint of it. Okay. And you can get email notifications. So as things change, as dates change, or meetings come into be put on the schedule, you'll be able to sort of stay up to date. Sometimes this system is not that great. I've gotten ones that are late before, but it sort of works. I always sort of liked to check on it daily if I was really interested in a bill to make sure I was getting the right notifications, because sometimes this just didn't work. This infographic here again sort of shows you where it's at in that. And here the bill history and whether or not it's being put to a committee hearing. Now, if you're interested in commenting, it's got a link here, also that one up here. And then if you're also interested, and I encourage everybody to do it, is to participate in committee hearings, which can seem a little intimidating, but it's good. I mean, go out there and do it. Like I said, there's nothing that keeps you from actually telling them with your own voice and your own, looking them in the eye and saying, this is why you shouldn't do that. You can do that, and you should. And this is where you sort of sign up to do that, even if it's for something mundane. Anyway, I really like that method. I really like this search tool to use because it really gives you a broader understanding of what's actually going through the legislature during that session, and how it ties in with some of the other tools that they get is actually okay. I'd still say it's not very refined, and they do make it sort of cumbersome. I believe that's by design. They don't want us taking part. Okay, they want us to be intimidated. They want us to stammer. They want us to not be able to deliver information well, because it gets in the way of their process. So we still have to do it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little video, and maybe you'll be the one who puts those legislatures over the top to fight back against things that we shouldn't be passing. All right, have a great day.